Your brain can do anything, absolutely anything. The key is to convince yourself of it. Your hands don't know they can't do push-ups. Your legs don't know they are weak. Your stomach doesn't know it's all fat. Your brain knows it. Once you convince yourself you can do anything, you truly can. Don't be afraid to lose. Winners aren't afraid of losing. Failure is part of the road to success. People who avoid failure also avoid success. There are two kinds of money problems. One is having too little, the other is having too much. Which problem do you choose? The most valuable asset is time. Most people don't know how to use it properly. They work hard to make the rich richer, but don't put in effort to make themselves rich. Every person has hands, legs, a head, and 168 hours a week to do whatever they truly desire. The first lesson we must learn is that money itself is not evil. It's simply a tool, like a pencil. A pencil can be used to write a beautiful love letter or a complaint that leads to someone being fired. When a pencil was designed, it was made so it could be used to write, but also to poke someone in the eye. The issue isn't the object itself, but the motivation of the person holding the pencil or money. Excuses make a person poor. Rich Dad often said, "Give a fool money, and he will throw a party." The poor and middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. Life is a game of money and time. I know the world outside the chicken coop seems scary. It's tough with jobs, tough with money, and really bad with opportunities. But I assure you, life outside the coop is thriving, full of optimism and energy, with countless opportunities. It all depends on where you look from, inside the coop or outside it. Find a job for your money. Think of money as your employees. People who don't respect money or abuse it tend to find that money begins to disrespect and abuse them. Take care of your money, and it will take care of you. In today's understanding, the biggest risk is inaction. Investing in real estate through a business gives you 4 incomes at once: rental income, depreciation, value appreciation, and tax advantages. You can learn a lot just by reading, but you can't learn to ride a bike by reading a book. If you want to change your reality, you must change your thinking. We are slaves to our habits. Change your habits, and your life will change. It's not about how much money you make, but how much you keep, how well it works for you, and how many generations you can support with it. How many times do I have to remind you that a job won't make you rich? You become rich in your free time. Seeing what others don't notice is the universal key to success. The word impossible blocks your potential, while the question, how can I do it, pushes your brain to work at full capacity. There are 3 types of assets: business, real estate, and paper investments. It's not about how much money you make, but how much you keep, how effectively it works for you, and how many generations after you will benefit from it. The greatest secret of winners is that failure inspires victory. Today, I'm rich because of what I did in my free time. The biggest mistake people make is investing in the most popular assets. Buying what everyone else buys won't make you succeed. You need to find great investments that others overlook. If you can't see yourself as wealthy, you will never achieve it. Be mindful of those who control your mind. We put locks on our doors for a reason. For the same reason, you should lock your mind. Your greatest asset is your brain, and you need to keep it protected. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. In both cases, you're correct." Focus on what you want, not on what you need. You must choose between freedom and security. Freedom requires courage and strength, and if you lack them, you lose your freedom. People lose because they are too afraid of losing. Above all, focus on value, not price. Working for a boss or a big company will never solve your money problems. Start with small deals. Only education and experience can make a person richer and richer. Today, millions of people worldwide are stuck in dead-end jobs and make investments that drain their money. It wasn't money that made me rich, but investing time and investing money when I had very little. What's in your head determines what's in your hands. Money is just an idea. The more of your own money you invest, the lower the return on investment. The less of your own money involved and the more of other people's money you use, the higher your returns. People say, "I'm saving money for retirement." Rarely do they say, "I'm investing to secure my retirement." If you want to take control of your life, you must regularly create personal financial statements. If you don't want to do this, it's better to give your money to others in a pension fund. Financial intelligence comes from investing time in the real world. It cannot come from investing in a mutual fund. Investing in your financial education won't pay off immediately, but it certainly will in the long run. The poor and lazy use the word impossible far more often than those who succeed. Rich Dad started with almost nothing, but he had a dream, a plan to achieve it, and a vision of the future. I think it all began when people started seeking security instead of freedom. The problem is that most people believe security and freedom are the same thing, but they aren't. In fact, security and freedom mean exactly opposite things. Every investor needs to know when the flower will bloom and how long it will stay in bloom. The middle class takes risks. They invest a lot of money in a retirement plan and very little time in education. If you want to become rich, invest a lot of time before you start investing a lot of money. Within an hour's drive from most large cities, there is always affordable real estate. Find an area that is increasing in value, and over time, the property will appreciate. By the time you retire, these 3 houses will generate a stable income, far more reliable than a mutual fund. The point is, saving money is good advice for the poor and middle class. For building wealth, it's bad advice. A professional investor needs to know 3 things: when to enter the market, when to exit, and how to take their money off the table. Cynics criticize, but winners analyze. Money is just an idea. Before buying our first house, it took us an entire year just to get our minds working in the right direction. Professional investors can stay in the game for a long time, but their money is only on the table at the start of the game. Excuses are lies you tell yourself. Stop whining, complaining, and acting like children. Excuses make a person poor. If you want bad debt, the banker will give it to you right away. If you want good debt that will make you rich, the banker will ask for your financial report to make sure you're smart enough to manage good debt. What your generation lacks is the financial education necessary for financial security. If an investment is profitable, the more I borrow, the higher my rate of return. A true investor has very little loyalty to their investments. How can employees manage their lives if they've never been taught how to manage their money and have no control over where their retirement savings go? They have no control over their life in retirement. Consider owning 4 houses. You'll live in one, and the other 3 will generate income for you, even if the stock market crashes. The worst investments go to impatient investors. Those who are unwilling to take responsibility for their financial life now are in for a grim existence in the future. In the game of money, it's not about the money, it's about the game itself. Your academic or professional achievements have almost nothing to do with financial success. The most important words in business are cash flow. Rich people are rich because they control cash flow. Poor people are poor because they don't. Most financial problems stem from a lack of personal control over cash flow. If you hand your money over to others, it will work for them before it starts working for you. Always remember that you are an entrepreneur, a visionary, and a leader in one person. Don't let your advisors run your business. When the business starts losing money, spend as much as you can on growth. After the business recovers, you can cut expenses and recoup some of the funds spent on development. Many in the middle class see saving as wise, but for the wealthy, it's a financial break. The greatest fortune in my life was encountering the real world at age 13. Invest time in gaining technical knowledge, then go out into the real world and try. Start small because you will make mistakes. In the real world, people learn from mistakes. Review your personal expenses to see if any of them can be classified as business expenses. When business slows down, people often cut back on development spending instead of increasing it. And once the business gets back on track, they start increasing expenses instead of reducing them. Our emotions are a powerful force. If not controlled, they become self-fulfilling prophecies. There's a difference between being broke and being poor. Broke is temporary, poor is forever. When it comes to money, there's always plenty of advice from people who don't have a dime to their name. My money's job is to work hard for me, acquiring more and more assets. Tens of thousands of students have graduated from business schools where they were taught that thinking is pointless. During a recession, many people sell their business and equipment for pennies. You should look for investments that aren't popular now, but will soon be in high demand again. The best investments are sold at the most favorable prices between familiar people. A true investor works for cash flow, not for capital gains. One of the worst sources of financial advice is losers, and you can find them everywhere. You won't succeed as an investor if you listen to advice from failures. Your job is to build a pipeline and constantly widen its diameter. I've always tried to turn every disaster into an opportunity. The key is to find a method that works for you personally. Both I and Rich Dad built businesses and invested in real estate, but they were completely different kinds of businesses and real estate. A professional player or professional investor ultimately aims to play with other people's money. Own nothing, but control everything. When you invest with the hope that something will happen in the future, you are gambling. First, you must change your mindset. Then, write out a 10-year plan. Once you understand the essence of your real financial statement, you'll open yourself to a world of real financial opportunities. Warren Buffett was able to turn $105,000 into $30 billion. The effect of leveraging different types of assets allows you to turn $10,000 into just as many millions. It will seem quite simple once you learn how to do it and build the proper structure. Walking away from a deal is better than making a bad one. The best financial information isn't always readily available. You have to go out and find it. You may have noticed that people who are often financially behind tend to be rigid in their worldview and actions. Every investment should make sense both today and tomorrow. When it comes to money, the only skill most people have is hard work. Life can be tough when you don't fit the standard profile. Choice, not circumstances, determines your success. It's none of my business what you think of me. What's more important is what I think of myself. Most people don't understand that in life, it's not about how much money you make, but how much you keep. Poor, unsuccessful, unhappy, and unhealthy is the person who often uses the word tomorrow.